What's going on, guys, and welcome back for another one. We're going to start by getting the reeds disassembled, new reeds on these. I did order V-forces, they sent me the wrong ones, and I was unable to find the ones that'll fit this motor. So I want to get carbon fiber paddles on these. I'll show you. I'm a little bit ahead of you guys. I've already done a couple of them, but I'll show you why it's very, very important when you have a failure like this motor did to go ahead and take the reeds apart. So let me pull these screws out. They're just Phillips screws on both sides. I have 6 of them. They usually come out easy. So you can get these out. You guys are going to see in a minute why it's important to go through your reeds when you have a crank let go or you have any metal rolling around in that motor. Okay, ready? This side isn't that bad compared to the other ones, but you can see there's metal in here. If you look, there's real fine metal flakes. Maybe the other side will show you guys a little bit better. Pop this apart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the paddles in off camera. I mean, this is real simple stuff, guys. I mean, if you're this far into it, I know that you know how to get it put back together, I would hope. But make sure these are super clean, especially where the reeds seal. Okay, you can see now we're starting to get some more metal. Yeah, these are nowhere, this one isn't nowhere near as bad, the one I sent, but you can see there's metal chips. All that stuff will keep these reeds from sealing. So let me get it wiped down. These are the brand new carbon fiber paddles. This is the reed stuffer. When you get it back together, stuffer goes in here. And I do want to show you one other thing before I put this back together. These are off of 780. I'm going to give you guys a lot of reference stuff off of 780. These are reed spacers. I forget what millimeter these are. It's a 4, 6 mil. Don't quote me. Look them up. But these are off of 780. They'll give you a little extra power. So they're going to sit when the reed goes in the block, just like this. And then your intake, and then your carbs. So I got these. These are super cheap. They come off of 780, like I said. Let me get this reed all cleaned up really nice. Get all, you can just see the metal on my fingers. Get all the metal out of there, the little shavings. Throw these old paddles out. These are junk. You can hear the ultrasonic cleaner just went off. I'm cleaning all the nuts and bolts. And yep, let me get these together and I'll give you the torque specs when we get around the block. Alright, here's what your reed looks like reassembled. I did mention I was going to put this together on this video. I forgot about something. I want to pressure test this crankcase assembly, or vacuum test. I'm not sure which. I got to do a little reading yet. But I bought some cutting boards at the dollar store. This is my plan so far. It might change in this video. But I want to block off all the intake side and the exhaust side with that. I'm going to cut the cutting boards up, and I want to pump their vacuum pressure or pressure test the block. I'm not sure which. I got to do a little more reading. So I just wanted to give you a quick video, or quick start on this video with the reeds and the spacers. I'm probably going to roll this video to test this crankcase, make sure we don't have any lower end leaks on it. That's what I'm really worried about. So let me go ahead and figure out how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to show you how I make everything. I'm going to show you when it's set up. I'm going to show you the test, and then that'll end the video. Okay, now you see, to do this test, these are the new studs. Regardless, I'm going to have to put these in. These are off of 780. That's what you want for studs for your reeds. I actually lied. I don't have to put those in for this test. I'll just use normal bolts. I didn't even think about that. Not sure what I was thinking there. So these are the little block off plates I made. These are just made out of dollar store cutting boards. Took a file to the edges, cleaned them up. You see a flat side. I'm going to use the old gaskets right here, hoping that they seal. So we'll stick her on just like that. Just like this, I should say. Make sure you get all the excess nylon crap off. You do not want that dropping down your crank. We'll get this bolted closed. We'll get the manifold on. We'll get that bolted closed. And then I'm not sure if we got to do the cooling rail or not. And then we'll pump it up and we'll see. We'll give her a vacuum and we'll see if she holds. Alright, let me bring you guys up to speed. I got the reeds built, they're back there. Now, these are the reed spacers I was talking about. What I did is I took a dollar store cutting board, a plastic nylon, and I put the gaskets behind it, and these are M8 125 pitch. And I bolted these on because I want to vacuum test the crankcase. So I'm going to see if this works or not. But fast forward through all this, even if this doesn't work, I don't know yet until I make this video, so we'll see what happens. I got to get this oil pump gear in, and I got to check the offset of the depth because we changed the case. So I want to show you guys how we're going to do that. First off, I have two gears. I'm going to use the one that came with this case. So let me get it cleaned up. I'm going to spray carb clean on it, clean it up, and then I'm going to put a little grease on the gear, and we'll slide it in, and let me show you what we're going to measure and how we're going to do it. Alright, as you guys can see, I got a small amount of grease on there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to stick this in to where she lines up. I'm probably going to have to rotate the crank, so let me take the plugs and stuff out, and then I'll show you what we're going to measure to make sure that we got the right shims in here for our oil pump. Okay, now to check spacing for your oil pump, you zero it out, and right in here you're going to want to measure from where the leading edge of your gear comes out, right here where my fingernail's pointing, to the edge of this, right here. And that'll give you a measurement. So now you come over here, and on your oil pump, you're going to measure here. Measure right here, spacing here. So 0. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do this all one-handed. So now you're going to measure. So you're going to subtract the two, and that's going to tell you what size spacer you need. Alright guys, so we got 4.30 and 4.59. So when you subtract the two numbers, you come up with 0.299, or 0.29, I'm sorry. And look at on my gauge here. That washer is right about 2.8, 2.9. So that's your spacing. So like I said, measure here, between here, and measure your depth here from the outside of that ring, or the inside of that ring to outside of here, and that'll determine what size spacer you're gonna need. Make sure you do that. And also make sure, rotate that crankshaft. Let me look so you guys can see the gear in there spinning? When you're building a motor, always make sure that gear's turning. I might just do a quick bench test on this oil pump just because I don't know anything about it, why this motor failed. Well, I mean, I have an idea, but I just want to double check everything before I put it together and blow it up. So let me give you the torque specs on the oil pump, and let me get you the test. If I test the oil pump, I'll show you how I do it real quick. And I guess what we'll do is I'm just going to make this a separate oil pump video, read video, and then I'm going to make one more video on vacuum testing this crankcase. I'm sorry guys, it's just too hard for me to edit a big long video, so stay tuned. I'll show you how I test the pump, I'll show you how we put the pump on, and then I'll show you on the next video how we're going to finish up blocking the rest of this manifold side off so we can vacuum test the crankcase. As you can see, I gently got my oil pump in the vise. I got my little oil can. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill up the oil tube, that your primary feed tube. This little pump works great. I told you in my other videos. I'm just going to get my drill and I'm just going to turn this. We'll see if she puts any oil out. I gotta figure out which way the motor turns it. Alright guys, I can start to see the oil coming. It's going to rotate that way, so it's going to be in reverse. You need your drill to rotate. When I had it going the wrong way, which I hope I didn't harm the pump, you can see it was bubbling up here. So I'm going to put a little bit more fluid in here, or a little bit more oil in here. It is sucking it down. I'm hoping this will help with bleeding the pump too. And I can see the oil coming through the lines. And I know that this oil pump is good because it's coming through all 3 lines at equal speed. So I don't know if you guys can see. I'm gonna take my drill off. If you look at the lines, all 3 lines have equal amount of oil in them. I know you can't see, but you can definitely see the air pockets and stuff. And look at, remember when I was telling you guys to replace these lines? This line is leaking like a sieve. So that tells you, you know, that's probably why it blew up on that cylinder. But that's just a quick oil pump test. So it's reverse direction on your drill and be reverse. And spin her up and look at the lines. So I'm gonna wrap it up for this video. That's just a reed video. As you can see, I got my reeds I mentioned earlier in this video, my reed stuffers. They got carbon fiber paddles, and they're gonna be the oil pump install. Before I wrap this video up, I'll show you how to put the oil pump on real quick, and I'll give you the torque spec. Alright, so here's your oil pump, and you're gonna do your O-ring, and you're gonna do your spacer just like that. Okay, and one other thing, these bolts are gonna be 78 inch pounds, the mounting bolts for your oil pump, 78 inch pounds. And before I wrap it up, make sure you use blue Loctite. I'll get this torqued down. Also, just a quick thing to add into this video, make sure you line up your oil pump gear, your drive. So make sure your drive is definitely turning that pump. Make sure you're in there. I'll catch you guys on the next video of when we're vacuum testing the crankcase. I believe that's what we're gonna do, vacuum test, but if I'm wrong, guys, sorry, don't blast me for it. It's gonna be like one of my first times doing this. Usually I just build a motor and put it in, but this thing's so much work to take out, I don't want to do it again to chase problems. So alright, I'll see you guys on the next one. We'll get the exhaust side on this thing, we'll get the flywheel on, well, we'll get the exhaust side on and test the crankcase and see what we got. Alright, thanks for watching.